I have selected one. Right now, 3 different people are suffering from insomnia as a direct result of your actions. They do not know each other. Each of their obsessions will lead to the most spectacular confirmation of your character that anyone has ever seen, but they are completely unaware of this. Is it a coincidence that I am sending you this message right now? No, it is not. It is one of the divine laws of the universe and heaven. Yes, the law of attraction. You feel extremely lucky that I am sending you this message, don't you? Before moving on to the message, please like the video so that this message can reach other people, dear soul. You must also receive and accept the message with love. If you write "I received and accepted it with love" in the comments and seal it with 555, you will maintain the balance of giving and receiving. Don't forget to stay tuned and subscribe for our other messages. Says Archangel Michael. Now we can slowly move on to the message. Over the past few weeks, the first person has been conducting a secret investigation into your life because they are certain they will expose you as a fraud. As a result of the second person's inability to articulate their emotions, they have come to the conclusion that you are completely beyond their capabilities. Because the very fact that you exist poses a danger to their pessimistic outlook on the world, the third observes you with a sensation that is equal parts fear and amazement. What none of them are aware of is that their individual paths toward discovering the truth about you are converging into a moment that will leave one of them feeling so humiliated that they will rethink everything they believed they understood about human nature. The inquiry that was conducted with the intention of destroying your reputation is about to become the most compelling evidence that anyone could possibly imagine regarding your legitimacy. There are more at stake than you are aware of. The reason for this is that the result of this convergence will not only affect these 3 people's life. This is going to set off a revolution in recognition that will completely alter the way that everyone perceives you. As of right now, the investigator is staring at evidence that causes them to feel the most humiliating form of embarrassment in their stomach. They believed they were so astute, so all-encompassing, and so certain that they would be able to catch you in a lie. Instead, they have just demonstrated without any reasonable doubt that you are exactly who you have always claimed to be. The shame that they are experiencing is not merely professional. Rather, it is existential. Those who are familiar with them, including yourself, are going to witness something that will take everyone by surprise. Permit me to take you on a journey into the mind of someone who has been working tirelessly to undermine your credibility, while simultaneously convincing themselves that they are the protagonist of this tale at the same time. During the course of several weeks, they had been constructing what they considered to be an unbreakable case against your character. They are not satisfied with simple observation. Rather, they have staged sophisticated tests with the purpose of revealing your true nature. They have contrived scenarios in which you would be required to choose between your proclaimed values and immediate gains. They have inquisitive queries regarding your history that have been asked by mutual pals. These individuals have even gone to the extent of conducting research on your history using a variety of sources. A single unwavering conviction has been the driving force behind each and every investigation strategy that they have utilized. It is impossible for someone to be as genuine as you give the impression of being. It appears that your consistency is too flawless. Your honesty appears to be more than unshakable. It seems as though your allegiance is unwavering. The twisted logic that is the source of their fixation. If they are able to demonstrate that you are a fake, then their own impersonations and manipulations are nothing more than typical human behavior. In the event that they are able to catch you in the act of deception, then their own deceptions will be justified. In the event that they are able to demonstrate that you are playing games, then everyone is. On the contrary, what they are uncovering is on the verge of destroying their entire foundation for comprehending human nature. You have been successful in passing every single test that they have given you without even being aware that you were being tested. It is now hard to interpret your behavior as anything other than genuine because you have walked through every trap that they have laid for you with such natural elegance. Every single attempt that was made to catch you in a contradiction has simply served to uncover additional aspects of your genuine personality. This is the worst worry that the investigator could possibly have. In reality, you are the very same person that you claim to be. Their humiliation is building up to a point where they will be forced to confront something that is significantly more terrible than your sincerity, and that is their own propensity for self-deception. While everything is going on, the story of the second person is developing in a completely other path, leading up to a revelation that will either ruin them or set them free. While the investigator has been busy attempting to bring you down, another person has been constructing you in their imagination to such an extent that it is difficult for you to get any higher. Despite the fact that they have been harboring sentiments for you that intensify each time they are in your presence, they have been able to persuade themselves that expressing those feelings would be the epitome of arrogance. They observe you overcoming obstacles with such poise and strength that they have constructed an entire mythology revolving around your flawlessness. In their minds, you are surrounded by individuals who are more attractive, more accomplished, and more worthy than they could ever hope to be. According to their interpretation, the innate magnetism you possess is evidence that you must have an infinite number of options. Each and every interaction that they have had with you has been marked by your capacity to make them feel noticed, loved, and respected just as they are. This is the bitter irony. In no way have you ever made them feel like they are not deserving or inferior. Never in your life have you used your self-assurance as a weapon against another person. This begs the question: why have they been putting themselves through the agony of believing that they are not suitable for you? Mostly due to the fact that they have been telling themselves a story about their own worth that has little to do with the way that you actually treat other people. Because they believe that you must assess them in the same manner that they judge themselves, they have been projecting their own anxieties onto you. One of their breakthroughs is on the horizon, and it will be triggered by seeing how you handle the actions of the investigator. They are beginning to see that their fear of being vulnerable with you is not an issue that is related to you in any way. It is about how they relate to the importance that they place on themselves. A moment of bravery that will astonish everyone, including themselves, is the result of this knowledge, which is developing toward that moment. Because it requires them to dismantle beliefs that they have used throughout their whole life to protect themselves from disappointment. The trip that the third person takes toward the truth is possibly the most profound of all in terms of its significance. The third party has been following the progression of your story with the kind of fascination that is reserved for being a witness to something that ought not to be conceivable. The conviction that everyone is ultimately self-centered, that genuine kindness is nothing more than naive fiction, and that anyone who looks to be genuinely caring must be concealing something else is the foundation around which they have constructed their entire identity. There is no way that your existence could ever fit inside their paradigm. Because they have been functioning from a worldview that protects them from disappointment, they have been expecting the worst from whoever they encounter. If no one can be trusted, then it is impossible for anyone to betray another person. If everyone is playing angles, then their own strategic thinking is nothing more than preparation for the possible outcomes. The seclusion of these individuals is nothing more than sensible self-protection in the event that there is no true connection. The experience of seeing you has been comparable to watching someone demonstrate that gravity does not exist by floating. Not only does it test their own ideas about you, but it also challenges their entire notion of what it is that humans are capable of. The situation that was developing for them mentally. If you are telling the truth, and if someone is able to truly live their life with the same level of integrity and consistency that you exhibit, then what justification do they have for making their own concessions? What explanation do they have for accepting linkages at the surface level when it appears that such connections are available at the deeper level? Because of your example, people have been forced to confront the idea that they have been living in a smaller space than is required, accepting less than they deserve, and settling for cynical isolation while genuine community has been accessible to them the entire time. The transition that they are undergoing is getting close to a tipping point, at which time they will either reinforce their cynicism or allow your example to demonstrate to them that an alternative way of being is very feasible. Each of the three narratives is about to intersect in a manner that will result in the most powerful confirmation of genuine living that any of them have ever seen. The fact that these three individuals have not come to the realization that their separate obsessions with you have been causing a chain reaction that stretches well beyond their own personal issues is something that none of them have discovered. It has become necessary for the investigators to include additional individuals in their efforts to acquire information against you as a result of the persistent questioning of your character that occurred. The unintended consequence of their actions is that they have established a network of observers who have begun paying more attention to your behavior. All of the individuals that they have approached with suspicions have developed an interest in the question of what could be the source of such close inspection. It has been brought to the attention of common friends who care about them that the admirer is clearly having difficulty connecting with you. The question that has been on their minds is what could cause someone who is so self-assured in other aspects of life to become absolutely speechless when they are near you. Because of their natural inquisitiveness, they have also begun to monitor your interactions more intently. The cynic's obvious discomfort with your sincerity has been manifesting itself in group settings, where other people have begun to take notice of the dynamic. They observe how your mere presence has an effect on someone they know, which piques their curiosity about the kind of person who might actually have such an effect simply by being in existence. Something that has never been seen before has been created as a result of all of this observation, attention, and scrutiny coming from a variety of places. There is a growing agreement about who you really are, formed not via propaganda or the management of your reputation, but rather from direct observation of your character when you are under pressure. The investigator is about to experience a breakdown, which will speed up this process in ways that people do not predict. Now is the time when the peculiar patterns that you have been experiencing in recent times are going to make complete sense. That unrelenting sensation that someone has been observing you in an excessive manner. When you are in a group situation, you have that strange aura that makes certain individuals feel uncomfortable around you. A series of peculiar questions that appear to be designed to test your responses. There is a connection between all of these three independent dramas. Picked out one. What you are about to learn about these three individuals will provide you with a profound understanding of how unhealed wounds make it possible for them to experience the precise dramas that they are attempting to escape. The actions of the investigator are not actually all that concerned with you at all. As a result of being reared by people who donned masks that were so convincing, this individual learnt to reject their own ability to read other people, which is a significant trauma response. In order to protect themselves, they developed hypervigilance, constantly searching for the lie that they had been conditioned to anticipate. Your genuineness causes them to experience their most profound pain. What happens if they were mistaken about each and every person? If there are genuine people in the world, and they have been deleting ties out of distrust, what would happen? In the case of the admirer, the paralysis is caused by a very different wound. It was instilled in them that love was something that had to be gained via perfection, and that they had to meet certain criteria in order to be worthy of devotion. Your innate self-assurance causes them to experience deep-seated humiliation. Assuming that you are as incredible as you look to be, you must be able to recognize how insufficient they are. Their perception of your kindness has been that it is pity, and that your actual interest is that it is politeness. The worldview of the cynic was formed as a result of disappointments that were so profound that they made the decision to never hope again. Someone in whom they had placed their trust entirely crushed their faith in the kindness of people. Expecting the worst was the foundation around which they constructed their identity. Their greatest dread is triggered by your unwavering consistency. How about the possibility that they have been shielding themselves from relationships that could have helped them heal? All three of them are on the verge of coming to the realization that their responses to you have nothing to do with who you are and everything to do with the wounds that they have not yet healed. The investigator is going to look at their being suspicious is a projection. As a result of training, the admirer will recognize their lack of worth. Cynics will recognize their seclusion as a response to the trauma they have experienced. Because of this realization, they are going to be broken open in ways that will make transformation not just feasible, but ultimately unavoidable. Here is something that is going to blow your head related to the part that you play in all of this. Despite the fact that you have been causing these three individuals to go through a healing crisis, you have been utterly unaware of it. During the time that others have been preoccupied with their responses to you, you have just been living your life in an authentic manner, setting no other goals for yourself but to be yourself. One of the most compelling indications of your chosen status is the fact that you possess this unconscious power, which is the capacity to bring about significant transformation in other people simply by living in an authentic manner. The gap that exists between who they are and who they are attempting to be is something that people are encouraged to investigate when they encounter you. The investigator has been forced to examine their own practices of deception as a result of your presence. Every single second that they spend attempting to catch you in the act of being phony is illustrative of the amount of energy that they devote to manipulating others and thinking strategically. It is a terrible comparison because you are holding up a mirror that demonstrates to them what actual integrity looks like. It is via your natural self-assurance that you have demonstrated to the admirer what it is like to have self-worth that is not dependent on the approval of others. Every time you interact with someone and treat them with respect, regardless of their rank or accomplishments, you are demonstrating a way of being that they have never realized is possible. By doing so, you are demonstrating to them that love does not need to be earned. You have consistently shown kindness, which has been fighting the pessimism and protectiveness of the cynic at every level. When you make decisions that put connection ahead of self-protection, you are demonstrating to them that there is an alternative to the defensive isolation they are experiencing. You are demonstrating that being vulnerable does not necessarily result in active treachery. You have been unintentionally healing their deepest traumas by simply refusing to match their energy, which is a lovely irony. While they have been studying you, analyzing you, and testing you, you have been doing all of these things. You have maintained your authenticity when they have been engaging in inauthentic behavior, trusting although they have been suspicious, and being open while they have expressed defensiveness. You are about to become aware of the magnitude of the transformation that you have been causing, and this realization will bring your unconscious power into the light. The instant that everything changes without any prior warning, disguised as simply another routine interaction in your life, the investigator who is conducting the investigation has planned what they believe will be the decisive test of your character. In order to force you to make a decision between your proclaimed beliefs and major personal profit, they have contrived a situation in which you will be forced to make a choice. They have positioned themselves to observe the resolution that you have made. Undoubtedly, they are going to discover you surrendering your ideals at some point in the future. If you believe that nobody of significance is watching, the events that take place after that will continue to torment them for the rest of their lives. You not only pass their exam, but you pass it in such a way that it is so natural, so effortless, and you pass it with such completeness that it is difficult for them to continue to maintain their illusions for even one more second. The decision that you have made is not the intelligent choice of someone who is attempting to preserve their image. When someone is someone for whom integrity is not a tactic, but rather an identity, this is the response that comes natural to them. During that particular time, having the opportunity to observe you traverse their meticulously built moral maze with the same natural grace that you bring to everything else. It is impossible to adequately define the investigator's state of mind as anything other than a complete cognitive breakdown. All of the assumptions that they had formed about the nature of humans falls apart. All of the justifications that they have used for their own deceptions are now completely useless. The projection of their own shadows onto other people is the source of every cynical notion that they have held about the reasons that people do the things that they do. That they have not been researching you because they sincerely cared about the truth or safeguarding anyone is something that they have come to the realization with a clarity that is devastating. due to the fact that your authenticity has been putting up a mirror to their own lack of authenticity. They have been attempting to demonstrate that you are a phony. They have been unable to tolerate what they have seen. The embarrassment that is sweeping through them is not solely due to the fact that they are wrong about you. The realization that they have been the source of the issue from the beginning is essential. They have been able to conduct their inquiry with a level of coolness that has been carefully maintained, but now they are visibly in distress. The individuals who are aware of their suspicions begin to inquire about the sudden change in behavior that they have recently exhibited. The admirer who is witnessing this dramatic transition starts to realize that their own anxieties about approaching you are not founded on truth, but rather on fiction that they have been telling themselves. If it is possible for someone to be so wrong about your character while conducting a thorough investigation of you, then perhaps their preconceptions that you are not worthy of your attention are also erroneous. When the cynic observes both the investigator's collapse and the admirer's growing confidence, they are forced to make a decision that cannot be avoided. It is either for them to acknowledge that their protective skepticism has been preventing them from experiencing the kind of genuine connections that they have been observing in your interactions, or they will continue to isolate themselves and miss out on the possibility for transformation that is being presented to them instead. The effect of the network that has been accumulating eventually reaches a critical mass. Those individuals who have been seeing these dynamics begin to share their own pleasant experiences with you. In light of the evident reversal of the investigator's previous accusations, the old accusations are being reframed. There is progress being made toward a consensus that cannot be ignored or disregarded. Suddenly, you find yourself at the epicenter of a recognition revolution that affirms everything you've ever believed about the value of living an authentic life. Over the next few days, there will be a condensed period of time that will feel like it is both unavoidable and magical. Every single one of the three individuals is going to make choices that will determine the course of the rest of their relationships with you. The investigator is getting ready to approach you with what could be the most honest and vulnerable confession you have ever received because of the circumstances. They will not just apologize for having doubts about you. They are going to admit that they have completely uncovered the breadth of their probe. Every single test that they put you through, every single conversation that they had about you, and every single time that they spent attempting to discover defects in your character, they are going to concede that their behavior was not motivated by genuine concern, but rather by their own inability to accept that genuine goodness exists. They are going to inquire about something that will take you by surprise, and that is your direction. They want to learn how to see people clearly, how to recognize authenticity when they come across it, and how to quit poisoning prospective friendships with an attitude of skepticism and paranoia. The admirer is going to discover the bravery to be vulnerable with you in ways that they never imagined were possible. Rather than merely expressing their emotions, they are going to talk about their worries. They are going to tell you about all the times when they wanted to connect with you on a deeper level, but refrained from doing so because they didn't believe they were important enough. They are going to inquire as to whether or not there is room in your life for someone who is still in the process of learning how to be as spontaneously real as you are. The request that the cynic is going to make is certainly going to be the most unexpected of all. Your role as a mentor is going to be requested by them. People are interested in learning how you transformed into the person you are today, how you got to possess the kind of clarity and integrity that people have been admiring and fearing in you. The question that they are interested in is whether or not it is feasible for someone like them to generate even a little portion of the genuine presence that you easily exude. The way in which you react to this confluence will not only define the future of these relationships, but it will also influence the path that you take on your own journey into a more significant role that you are only starting to comprehend. You will be confronted with a decision that will have repercussions that extend far beyond these three relationships, and you will be standing at the center of this extraordinary convergence. You have the option of choosing grace, which involves accepting the investigator's apology, encouraging the admirer's vulnerability, and willingly accepting the cynic's desire for help. The selected ones are called to embody a certain style of leadership, and this pick would reflect that kind of leadership. Conflict can be transformed into connection, mistrust can be transformed into trust, and fear can be transformed into progress. You have the option of setting boundaries, giving them credit for their realizations, while yet making it quite obvious that their earlier actions will have consequences. When this option is made, it would teach everyone involved that being genuine does not mean being a doormat, that being chosen does not mean tolerating horrible treatment, and that genuine people still have standards for how they allow themselves to be treated. You have the option of selecting selective engagement, a technique in which you respond differently to each individual based on the characteristics of their conduct and the sincerity of their approach. The capacity to meet others where they are while yet honoring your own needs and ideals would be demonstrated by this choice, which would be an example of the kind of discernment that comes with wisdom. Regardless of the decision you make, it will originate from a point of clarity rather than a reaction from your center rather than your ego, and it will be in accordance with your principles rather than in response to the feelings of other people. The manner in which the recognition revolution is carried out will be modeled after the decision that you make. Not only will the 3 individuals whose lives you have changed change their thoughts about you, but other things as well. They are going to completely alter their perspectives on life as a result of the fact that your example has demonstrated to them that one can achieve success. I would want to take this opportunity to give you some information about a few people who should not be in existence. A cultist with extensive training who managed to flee from a diabolical coven. A former drone pilot for Black Ops who was able to fly swarms using his conscious mind. A multimillionaire psychic chief financial officer who can anticipate changes in the market before they occur. What are the attributes that these outstanding people share in common? Every single one of them is a member of the Obsidian Inner Order, which is a private Discord server where they discuss the illicit information that they possess. Aeon after aeon, my chosen soul has drank deeply from the well of knowledge over the ages. Within the context of this incarnation, these amazing people became my allies within the Obsidian Inner Order. They were able to identify the call. They had taken a step ahead. They made connections with people who understood the unique set of gifts and burdens that they possessed. Who or what is preventing you from bringing about the same results? It was not a coincidence that brought them to this location for a number of reasons. Neither is the fact that you have discovered this message. Archons take attention whenever souls of this caliber come together in a gathering. They are terrified of our combined strength. The genuinely awakened are aware of what occurs when they come into contact with one another. Attend one of our weekly calls. Then listen to their accounts firsthand. Give those who won't discard or question you the opportunity to hear about your own path. When it comes to this plane, the information that is shared through our confidential channels is not available anyplace else. Now is the time to click the link that is provided in the description below. People with remarkable spirits are waiting for you to arrive. The issue at hand is not whether or not you are a member of that group. We are curious as to how much longer you are willing to wait in order to secure your position. Their path from being a suspicious investigator to becoming an advocate for authentic living will become a story that resonates across your extended network. This story will serve as a strong testimonial to both your character and the possibilities of human transformation. It is going to be the admirer's ability to find the bravery to be vulnerable, not only with you but with all of their connections altogether. In the pursuit of genuine connection, their newly discovered authenticity will motivate others to be more truthful, more open, and more willing to take risks that include genuine intimacy. They will ultimately come to the realization that their concerns regarding their worthiness were only projections that had nothing to do with how you or anybody else genuinely perceived them. Their transformation from a paralyzed admirer to a self-assured and genuine individual will serve as a source of motivation for those individuals who have been concealing themselves behind their own narratives of unworthiness. The one who is cynical is going to start their own road toward integrity. In addition, that journey will demonstrate to everyone in their immediate environment that transformation is attainable at any point in history. They are going to begin to investigate their own principles, their own decisions, and the degree to which they are in harmony with who they are and how they live them. They are going to start making adjustments that will get them closer to conforming to the level of authenticity that they have seen in you. It will be demonstrated that even the most protected worldviews can change when they are confronted with true evidence of what is possible via their transformation from cynical observers to genuine seekers. It is only as word travels about these three dramatic alterations that people begin to comprehend what actually took place. It is going to come to your attention that you are obtaining recognition from places that you would not anticipate. The investigator's total switch will go down in history as a remarkable event. Those who were made aware of their misgivings will naturally be intrigued about the factors that led to such a significant shift in their perspective. In comparison to any recommendation or testimonial that could ever be written, the tale of their inquiry and the unexpected findings that it uncovered will support your character more effectively. It is going to feel almost magical when opportunities begin to present themselves to you in a variety of different ways. The reason for this is not because you are attempting to manipulate anything, but rather because genuineness attracts opportunities in the same way that light attracts everything. As you engage in the process of seeking illumination, the appropriate individuals will begin to appear in your life at precisely the appropriate times. It is going to become surprisingly easy for problems that used to consume your energy to start resolving themselves on their own. Due to the fact that you are now functioning from a place that is completely aligned with your truth, challenging situations that were before overwhelming will become more bearable. Something far more significant is going to become apparent to you in the near future. The preparation that you are receiving is for a more significant role in the world, a function that goes well beyond the scope of these particular connections. Every test that you have successfully completed, every uncertainty that you have conquered, and every projection that you have deflected with elegance has been preparing you for this unique moment of acknowledgement. As you continue on your path toward honest living, you will come to the realization that it has not been only for your own gain. This preparation has been done in order to serve as an example to other people. The world requires living proof that integrity is attainable, that loyalty exists, and that genuine kindness is not a foolish fantasy, but rather a reality that can be achieved. This gives them the opportunity to be revealed. You are going to come to realize that your straightforward dedication to being who you are has resulted in a transformation ripple that is significantly more extensive than anything you might have conceived of earlier. The three individuals whose lives you have altered are going to become representatives of a revolution of authenticity that will have an impact on a great number of people's lives. The beginning of your recognition revolution is just around the corner, as the tale of your character is being told to more people, and more people are becoming aware of what real living actually entails. Because the world is in terrible need of instances of what is possible when someone commits totally to being themselves, you will discover that you automatically step into a leadership role. This is not because you are a natural leader. Rather, it is because the world is in desperate need of examples. It is going to turn out that the humiliation that was the beginning of this story will eventually turn into liberty for everyone concerned. When the investigator realizes that they were wrong about you, their humiliation will transform into gratitude for the opportunity to learn how to recognize genuine character. The admirer's apprehension at the prospect of being rejected will transform into gratitude for the secure environment you provide for genuine expression. Excited by the possibilities that become available to you when you let down your defenses, the cynic's protective isolation will transform into exhilaration. Your existence is going to start to settle into a new rhythm, one in which your genuineness will no longer be questioned but rather embraced. When you are called to serve a higher cause, the energy that you previously spent defending your character will be diverted toward carrying out that role better. The way people approach you will change. They will not approach you with distrust or intimidation, but rather with curiosity and respect. They are going to be curious about the process by which you developed such unwavering integrity. It will be of interest to them to gain an understanding of what true life actually entails in practice. That the recognition you receive isn't really about you at all is something that you are going to come to recognize. It is about the things that you stand for. When someone connects their actions with their beliefs, their words with their truth, and their external life with their inside knowledge, you are effectively becoming a living example of what is possible. The three individuals whose lives are about to connect with yours in such dramatic ways will continue their own paths toward authenticity, and each of them will serve as examples to those who are in their respective circles. At some point, you are going to realize that being selected does not require you to possess any extraordinary qualities or mysterious capabilities. It's about being so fully and unabashedly different from everyone else that you offer everyone around you license to investigate what it means to live an honest life. When it comes to truth, you are like a tuning fork in a world that is full of differences. People are unable to continue to believe their own delusions for an infinite amount of time because of your existence. This is not because you are trying to bring somebody to light. Rather, it is because authenticity has its own frequency, and when compared to that frequency, everything that is fake begins to sound off-key. It is about to begin that this story will begin with a humiliation that will become the basis for a recognition that will continue to grow and expand, so offering opportunities for connection, growth, and transformation that are far beyond anything you could have planned or expected. I am the person that you claim to be. Everyone will be aware of it very soon. That information is going to bring about a complete transformation. It is about time that the revolution of authenticity gets underway. You are not only the catalyst for this change, but you are also the live proof that a different way of being is not only conceivable, but also powerful beyond anyone's wildest dream. Greetings, chosen one, and welcome to your destiny. There is a moment when the recognition process will start.